Alright, let's ask Falco for our last gathering mission for the shards.
We got the harmonics, sir. Listen to me. I want Harper shut down now. If you're too incompetent to stop his avatar, then destroy his goddamn link chain.
Well, thank you would have
You
been
think you can
nice.
handle it, or do I need to get a real jarhead to do it?
We've only been doing our job.
Recon shows
Especially how Ryder responds to Falco. Like, he's not treating him, dickishly or condescendingly. He's literally answering sir, yes sir, and stuff like that. But Falco is becoming increasingly like an asshole the more the game goes on.
Really think some warning signs to be popping off in our protagonist's head here.
Especially because, again, as a general reminder, the device we're building is still one that will cause essentially an emotional shutdown for all the Navis, making them easy picking for the humans.
Yeah. So maybe it's a good thing that they put it in our hands and not Falco's.
Let's hit
I suppose.
Just promise me no power pukes.
Whatever you
All
say.
right. Next up, the Hanging Gardens. This is basically, well, the zoning itself is relatively fine and not too much of a hassle. This is also where we're gonna have our confrontation with Harper, which means that we're gonna try to build up a bit his boss fight.
Oh, wow.
Kept growing back so fast, Russ finally just pulled out. Left everything behind. Who knows what it looks like now?
Perfect place to hide a link chamber.
Yeah, that is true. And I know what you might have been wondering, because it's a question that was raised also in the movie. How can the link chambers survive, self-survive, despite needing stuff like electricity to have, the actual human in the bed, controlling the avatar, the electricity to sustain his life support, and everything. I will mention it when I actually read its entry for the very last part, but apparently they're actually self-sustained by solar energy. Apparently that's enough for them to work indefinitely if they want, which is odd to say the least. Again, for as much as it breaks the tradition of a whole we have been doing this we haven't been doing this in a long time tradition. I'm kind of glad that in the Navi campaign they actually almost immediately dismissed the whole having to hide the link chamber, and instead having the protagonist being subjected to the whole soul separation ritual that grants him properly the Navi body. If anything, again, in the human campaign, what it does work for what it was supposed to do, it just makes the entire point of the reason why Ryder came to Pandora, being attached to the Avatar program, completely pointless. Again, it's so weird that they couldn't find a way to mix the two elements together. It's all or nothing. Alright, let's get this. If I recall correctly, the first shard is attached to this mission. I forgot which captain operates here, outside of Midori. Alright, Winslow. We still have to meet yet Batista, if I recall correctly.
Batista?
Yes.
Our plan seems to have gone to the levee. We're blind out here until we get the old radar up and running.
Excuse me! Can we
Please.
stop doing that?
These people are assholes getting in the way of the camera.
It's a high bar.
Talk about a photo bomb.
Place looking for powder. And no supply camp. Last I heard, the place was overrun by V-Dogs. Get the old repulsor working to drive them away. Batista can rig up the...
Oh, there we go. We're gonna meet him in this part too.
Of course.
Walk around inside this pit of danger.
We found Harper's link chamber. Well, we picked up its signal, somewhere deep in the Pandoran jungle, so I've been sent in to find it, and take out Harper. This place is thick Navi territory. The RDA pulled out years ago.
So I guess I can't expect much help out here. Well, yeah.
Not to mention, again, it showcased the fact
Oh!
that, yeah, it's what, like he said, one of your powers is actually going basically the Sonic super fast speed. Kill the, ear rape version of Green Hill Zone. But again, this also tells the fact that the RDA has been on Pandora for years at this point, and the data log does confirm it. But I have to admit, the movie kind of did a slight poor job at actually telling that. I don't remember if they actually mentioned at all for how many years the humans have been on Pandora, but it's actually quite a lot, which explains why they're so obsessed with the raritanium, because it's the only thing that allows them to do particular stuff, including major space travel. So it's kind of pivotal for the entirety of Earth economy, and of course, since it's basically they're only on Pandora, they decide to act like the assholes that they are just because, just for that. There we go. Basically, for the first we need to reactivate the repulsor in this particular area. Ouch. There we go. And if I recall correctly, after that we can talk with Batista. I also love every time you have to actually reload the gun. Not even just, getting a new ammunition, but actually reloading. Ryder acts like the gun jammed or something, where it's actually not what happens. It's so weird. There we go.
Damn, Batista's intro really got a downgrade.
I actually forgot who voices him. Give me a second.
So
Why
did
not?
you insert this music, Gio?
Yeah, like I mentioned at the end of the Navi campaign, I actually did ask Pedro and Dweebs what was it, his theme.
Yeah. I guess it's given his name.
It is a relatively common name still, but it's fun.
Still alive, huh? Booyah!
Booyah.
Let's have a look at those smokes.
With his roles in recent films, he's become much more a very popular worldwide actor outside of the wrestling fandom anyway. So people know.
He'll know where to fire him off.
Well, this Batista is very scrawny in comparison. He's just the expert demolition guy.
Yeah, I mean, if you see how Batista nowadays, even at his current age, he's still buff as shit.
Pretty sure we can just, pull a finger and be the equivalent of a slap.
Yeah.
Well, remember, Dwebs, so is Stallone, and Stallone is even older than him.
Yeah, let me check their ages to be on the safe side.
I think last I checked, Stallone was in his 80s.
Yeah, at this point he's around his 80s.
Batista is 53. And Sylvester Stallone is 75.
Okay, fair enough. If I recall correctly, he did actually personally voice Rambo for the role in Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah, he voiced Rambo, and that. Oh, apparently, at least according to Wikipedia now, he's the only actor in US cinema history to have been in a box office #1 film across 6 consecutive decades.
Huh.
So what was the 2010s? Guardians 2?
I don't know. There we go. Batista is voiced by Bumper Robinson. He's been voicing mostly a TV actor, and he's been doing work. He's doing work still to this very day. He apparently voiced the Cyborg in a couple of DC animated products and in some video games, apparently. Including the Infinite Crisis video game, Lego Batman 3. Is he actually the iconic Cyborg voice actor? Actually,
No. The iconic Cyborg voice actor is Kerry Faden, who played Cyborg starting with the classic 2003 TV series.
Teen Titans.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was looking through some stuff today. Speaking of casts, Remember when Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 had to use British voice actors because there was the voice actors strike?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was looking through it. I was like, wait, what? We use British VAs in that game because even though the first one used Americans.
Yep.
That's
Did Adam Howden actually voice anyone in that game?
Adam Howden.
Yeah, Shulk's voice actor.
Let me see. He's got a pretty extensive. Okay, he has somewhat of a BTVA presence. So let me see. No. No, I mean, he's most recently been in Endwalker, and he was also Leander in Ni no Kuni 2.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
In the and if you felt Xenoblade Chronicles X was missing British voices, you can have him voice the Avatar.
Yeah.
Because unlike the other Xenoblade games, X had its voice recording mainly done in Los Angeles. Although the Avatar, you can choose a British voice for either gender.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. If you have a Wii U and want to have British representation in your games, then there you go.
But yeah, for this particular bit, you have to keep bombing, placing the explosive Batista gave to you for the Viper Wolves nests in order to actually, bomb them down. Otherwise, they will just keep coming. And of course, every time you put one, you better actually get out of dodge, because otherwise it literally explodes under your feet.
And that would hurt.
Immensely. Also, the other soldiers that can actually fend off for themselves, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, again, there's this effect where Ryder acts like the gun jammed every time he has to reload. It's not what happens. Did they add original mechanic in mind about the guns potentially jamming, and you having to work it out as a result? Because I can't seem to think any other particular, explanations for putting that voice line there. Again, when it gets the ammos, it makes sense for even the voice lines being similar, being something like, "Oh, I'll take that. That's very helpful," stuff like that. But I don't know.
We lost too many good people in this jungle. Okay, now that we've got a pathway, I need you to go Jimmy or Jenny and get her running.
Jimmy or Jenny?
Fix the
Jenny? Yeah, I was about to mention too.
Half this gear is older than I am. The power cell's probably out of juice. Go south.
You don't look very old, mate.
And then head north to fire up the radar.
It's war. War is surprisingly de-aged him instead of aging him.
Sure. Guess we're using again 507 logic, where again someone like Sid, who is like 35 or something, is treated like an old person.
That's
if this game came out 2 years early, could you imagine an Avatar game on GBA?
Okay, there is a port on Nintendo DS, I think. Let me see again, just to be sure.
You're getting quite the reputation around this.
Or at least on the PSP.
You're here to eliminate Dr. Harper.
Just point the way.
My scanner's reading 2 link chambers. It seems we've got more than one rogue Avatar on our hands.
Guess Harper found company when he defected.
Actually, the final GBA game was in 2008. A video game based on Samurai Deeper Kyo.
Sure. Also, before actually confronting Harper, we need to actually deal with these 2 assistants. If you forgot, those 2 were actually present during the briefing in the very first part when we actually talked to him. So basically, we need to deal with them first. Let me see. Yes, there was a Nintendo DS version of this game. Well, from what I heard, that particular version's story is the same one as the HD one, just in a more simple format. The only times where the story actually changes is for the Wii and PSP versions, where those 2 have the same version with each other, and it's about instead a young Navi named Ryuk, who engages in a personal vendetta against the RDA after they attack his village. So, seems more generic, to be honest.
report back when you're done.
Sure. Basically, you have two major objectives here. Deal with the two, goons that were working alongside Harper, and also still collect the shards. Of course, the last, the tree where you need to actually, place them properly will be actually where you also fight Harper. You also need to be careful in this particular section because it's chock full of those bomb-spitting plants, the ones that you normally need to be careful if you're actually piloting, a flying vehicle. In this case, they keep bombarding these particular, rock structures. So I did cut out a lot of parts where I actually still need to deal with them.
Uh-huh.
There we go.
Fun times.
Alright, next up, there you go. I think it's either the next shard. Let me see. Again, I forgot if I mentioned, while the flamethrower is actually legitimately useful against the plants, like the game actually suggests you, against the Navis and the other life forms of Pandora, it's borderline useless, so you might as well, leave it be. And just use it when you touch the plants. When it came to the plants attacking you, they come usually in three varieties. That one I didn't talk. There's the one who actually is just peat pollen, like the one with the red petals. There are the ones that that have more like vines that try to actually knock you down. Particularly dangerous because they're actually placed on, when you're actually trying to cross over in wooden bridges like this one. So of course they're placed strategically so they can actually knock you down if you're not careful. There's the bomb-spitting ones that I mentioned already. And then there's the one that are basically Nepenthes, that instead of in order to attack you, they let loose of insects who slow you down if they come in contact with you. However the hell that works.
Of course.
It doesn't help that despite being based on an empathy, the plant itself, especially when it opens up and everything, being a Ubisoft game, kind of reminds me a bit of Globox from Rayman. I wonder if it was a potential deliberate Easter egg. I wonder. But yeah, we also located the first of the two assistants. I forgot which one was it. Which is it? Along with his link chamber, meaning that we had to split to kill his avatar first and then his human form after that. Because yes, I think that the movie doesn't actually explore is what happens if your avatar body gets killed while you're still controlling it. Like, is it a thing that if you die as an avatar, you die also in real life or something?
I asked that before.
Well, not necessarily. With our protagonist, he actually managed to, to be rescued in time. They even explicitly mention. But in the cases of the two assistants, Dr. Harper, you just kill them properly and then they immediately wake up like this from the stasis.
Didn't that happen at some point in the movie now that I think about it?
I don't remember specifically if this happened, but I don't think so. And of course, despite the fact that they're probably in a catatonic state by being in the avatar form for quite a while, they're perfectly fine now. The community have a gas mask nearby, which makes sense considering the kind of link chamber would have this kind of thing. But they're perfectly fine and perfectly able to combat and shoot you endlessly.
Of course they are.
Thankfully, they are actually still relatively easier compared to the avatar form, but still. There we go, Dr. Anson Langley. There we go. One down, one to go.
Oh yeah, I just realised. Something. Now that now that I have a Game Boy player, I can finally show you guys the sheer majesty and brilliance that is Crash Party.
I forgot about that.
Basically, what you have to do if you have a copy of either Crash Nitro Kart or either of the Fusion games on GBA. As the game's booting up, you just hold down L and R on the
It's
console.
the very simple rhythm game, right?
Yeah, that one. Apparently, if you beat it all the way through, you get rockets to fight the main villain in Crash Nitro Kart GBA with.
Huh. I guess it's a cooler war, but it still feels random.
And weird as well. I mean, you have to play a rhythm game to get weapons in a racing game.
If it will be connected to instead to the rocket mini game, you know, the shooting gallery one, that is the one that is like downloadable if you connect it with Grapple Cortex, I think.
And what do you get if you beat that mode in Spiral or Crash Fusion?
I don't know. Maybe a card. That game seems to be obsessed with that.
I mean, do you get the ability to make Spyro Fusion more fun?
Probably not.
Actually, no, wait. It's a game, not a miracle worker.
How about making Spyro look less derpy? That will be a start.
Yes. In what model? His game model or in the cutscenes?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the weirdest thing. Yeah. Behold, Crash and Spyro are finally together. They throw Molotov cocktails.
It's also funny because for the marketing purpose, they use the Crash's to Insanity model, I think.
It was the most recent one.
While in-game is the one that was used in the previous GBA game, which is a stylized version of the original Trilogy one.
I mean, still the same developer, Vicarious Vision.
Yeah, I know. It's just that it was weird.
And yeah, I also got my answer as to why Vicarious Visions never made a Spyro game.
Oh.
Well, they suck at it.
I mean,
Jesus.
Okay, look, that crossover is wrong for so many reasons.
I heard Crash Fusion was fine.
Yeah, okay. You know what? Surprisingly, Crash Purple was the better game. I mean, don't get me wrong. Still, tons of wasted potential with it.
It's mostly that, Dweebs. Even if the Crash side of the crossover is fine, when you think of Crash and Spyro having a crossover, you don't exactly think of minigame collection.
The best one we got was in Nitro Fueled.
And again, their literal fight against each other is throwing Molotov cocktails and trying to knock each other off
standing on borders.
Like, just holy cow, that was just silly.
Sad.
All right, time to defeat the other apprentice. You already done it. Sorry.
Good news and bad news. Both avatars are dead. Let me guess. Neither one of them was Harper. How'd you know that?
Nope.
I've picked up faint flickers of a third signal, but it's deeper in the forest. It's hard to pinpoint. Check with Officer Midori. She might have an update.
All right.
I have to walk like 2 steps to go to.
Also, what is that guy doing in the background? Dude!
At least it's not in the way of the screen.
What the fuck? Attention whore, all of you, go away!
Kendra's picked up a signal way out there. It's not much, but it's something.
It's not much, but it's honest work.
So
I guess so.
Get lucky with Harper in the process. I'll keep working on it from my end here.
Alright. Basically, I did it so that I could complete both of these objectives at the same time, so I don't have to go back and forth.
Behold, the closest you can get to cosplaying as Master Chief.
How many pouches do I have? Did Rob Liefeld design this armor? Seriously?
I guess you can never have enough.
What the fuck?
I mean, you are a soldier, so you'll need plenty of places to put your weapons.
I'm pretty sure you don't need all of these separate pouches like this.
You never know, Tio. You never know.
Alright, when you actually go to search for the place where Harper's chamber is, you do find the tree, but you don't really have a way to reach it. You need to actually go to this place, to the higher place, in order to actually spot it first.
Deep cavern. I gotta find another way in.
Hold on a sec. The RDA mapped every corner of this place years ago.
A lot of good that did him. It's like a corp graveyard around here.
Nice name. Leave it to grunts to add some melodrama.
You need to link up with Batista. He's got the firepower you need to get through the wall and into the cave. Be careful, Ryder. Harper's link chamber could be somewhere down there.
So guess what? We need to bomb more shit up. In this case, to create the passage to enter a set of underground caves in order to reach the tree from the inside. You know, I thought maybe using a flying vehicle and actually dropping me there would have helped too, but what do I know?
I gotta say, the Halo TV series looks really underwhelming.
They could have used better effects for the Arbiter.
Yeah, I mean, every help.
And they did not
even
even
make
brought
his
King
helmet
David
properly.
back.
Yeah, I mean, look at his helmet. Even it's like they didn't even finished making it before production started.
Okay, I should probably ask actual Halo fans, probably, but I actually don't know this. Like, is the series actually like a side story that it's in canon with the series, or a retelling of some of the events?
I don't know, Jova, do you have any idea?
Sorry, could you repeat the question?
At least did they mention in the marketing if the Halo TV series is a side story that is in a regional side story that is in canon with the rest of the franchise, or it's a retelling of the events of the game in some particular order?
I have not heard the specifics of that yet in that regard, so...
See, they got the same voice actor for Master Chief at this point. I wonder.
Honestly, you can never be too careful these days. Like,
But actually, I'll check in the meantime, why not?
You never saw it coming.
I have to admit, I kind of like Batista's voice acting, and you know, just the voice acting. He has probably some of the worst lines in the entire game, but the voice actor actually the voice actor actually gives it, you know, a bit of a charm to them.
Kind of a shame he only shows up this late into the game, honestly.
Mm-hmm. But it's still better than in the Navi campaign, where you never hear of him, and at the very end you have to kill him, just like that.
I guess, you know, now that we're on their side of the story, we get to see through their eyes, and holy cow, that thing has a lot of arms on its side.
Yeah, those are not arms, actually, Jova. Those are missiles. It is actually one of the vehicles instead where you have actually a finite amount of ammo as a result. The missiles that you see are the only ones that you get, unfortunately. Can you please let me in now? Thank you.
And here we are at the Lost Cathedral.
Yeah. There we go. Halo is set to follow an epic 26th century conflict between humanity and the alien and Red Local Covenant. They belong persons to adventure, blah blah blah. The series is a non-canon standalone story inspired by the game franchise. Alright, fair enough.
There you go.
They will probably allow him to do some weird changes and justified by that, but sure. Alright, time to actually have the boss fight against Harper.
And we don't even get an opening cutscene, just here he is.
We will actually have banter during the fight at the very least. His boss fight is weird. He constantly moves around and you can actually damage him, but if you want to actually to stop, you need to, there you go, damage those blue flowers while he's passing through them, which will force him to stop regularly, making him an easier target. The problem is that in the meantime, you're constantly swarmed also by the other Navis, which are kind of empowered by the terrain they're in. So overall, this is one of the tougher spots in the game, or at the very least, one of the more obnoxious. Thankfully, again, you have those the ammo dispensers roaming around, so at the very least, you're good to go when it comes to never running out of ammos. But still, you need to keep your wits about it and always look up. Come on. Just... Almost there.
And
There
he's
we
dead.
go. Which forced him to actually get out of his chamber, thankfully. Which means we'll actually have to deal with this human form now.
Oh boy, a second phase.
I mean, just like the others.
This music is interesting. Phew.
Again, the composer actually tries to go to... tries to actually, you know, to actually give an atmosphere when it's needed. So there is that.
Adventure's over, Ryder. Time to die.
Funny. Langley and Epstein said the same thing.
You killed a couple of $5 billion avatars.
What was up with that weird, sinister voice that Harper was going for?
I forgot who voices him, but it's just there to taunt you on that. And to be fair, he's not technically wrong like that. Again, by all accounts, you know, Ryder's action for the human campaign are not good ones. No. And to be fair, the game doesn't even bother to try to justify them or saying that, oh, Harper is actually doing the right thing or a favor like that. The only one who is deluded is actually the Doctor.
Yeah.
There we go.
I just find it weird how sinister they made Harper sound for that cutscene. Like,
This is like he's fucking winning the foe.
yeah.
This is also, I also will need to mention this properly in the next part, but since I was kind of binging the game at this point, this also was starting a small starting point where my Elgato was starting to hiccup a bit. It happens occasionally where I'm recording something, but for some reason the audio goes desync for some reason, and I need to do things all over again. Thankfully, it did not happen with stuff like Castlevania or Shadow 2, because that would have sucked, since you know how to save and all, and no possibility of backtracking. But no, thankfully with this one it was a bit more easier.
Oh, goody. We have to set up the harmonics while also dodging death.
To be fair, in this case it's a bit easier than that. Alright, if I recall correctly, this one is a bit tricky because you need to put it at the very... There we go. Second. At the very extreme of the waterfall. Ow. I already mentioned the fact that the arrows start to get annoying in the human campaign because they're super precise, and of course they offer knockback. There we go. And this conveniently opens a passage that will lead me to my extraction point. Not even kidding. Here we go.
Sweet kill, mate. Maybe this will score us a medal.
Sure.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Well, teammates and all, right?
Right.
Yeah, right.
Maybe it gives me now a decent enough amount of experience.
You've done it.
And cleaned Harper's
You
closet.
done it. You got an achievement.
Great
Trophy.
work, Ryder. We should have
Trophy,
enough
yeah.
harmonics now to find that dormant
That
site.
too.
Hook up with Trudy and beeline back to base. I'll meet you there. Meet me back at
Totally.
Hell's Gate. This should be the last.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it actually is the last piece that we need to complete the puzzle of the song. All right, what we need to...
Let's hit the
yeah,
envelope.
there we go.
Just promise me.
Yeah, you already said that.
I want to repeat it.
All right, let's get to the doctor and...
Monroe's
wait, what?
missing. You'll have to upload the harmonic without him.
What do you mean Monroe's missing?
I meant he's missing.
He's been rounding up the scientists and anyone else.
Maybe
We're
we
running out of
should.
time. We need to find that dormant site.
You know, given that the simulator thing was all Falco's idea, and given that he's gone mad, maybe we should hold off on enacting Falco's plan.
Well, it's more of a case of if it has to happen at any cost, at the very least, they want to be sure that they're one. Basically, they're treating Falco, that Falco has actually gone, what's the term?
AWOL.
AWOL, there you go. But yes, unfortunately, Dweebs, your favorite trope is kind of enforced once more. Dr. Monroe gets kidnapped and presumably killed off screen. It's kind of very jarring because there's very little foreshadowing for this. Sure, you know that tensions with Falco are rising, but it's there you go. But it's so sudden still. And you never hear from him again after this, and even the data log doesn't really mention much about it.
Huh.
So weird. But
That's messed up.
still, things have to end one way or another. So tune in next time where we finish the actual human campaign of the game.
Epic conclusion.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.